Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about a very special topic, which is dating. And it's going to be the first episode on my Relax and Talk with Me. It's kind of like where I just sit and talk and just rant out my feelings because I'm somebody who has a lot to say. And why not just feel comfortable talking about it? As you might know, that dating is really a big topic in 2024 because, as we all might know, it's almost near impossible to date and actually have a genuine, long lasting connection with somebody. And I feel like a lot of things really contribute to, that topic, but I have a few things that I jotted down on my notes. So if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my phone to kind of keep track of like what I want to talk about, even though it's technically a podcast. So I'm just going to be just talking about my feelings in an authentic way about, dating. Because, like I said, growing up, I feel like dating has always been challenging to me because it's hard to find somebody that I truly feel like I connect with on a deeper level rather than just what's on the outside, or superficial things like, oh, they have money, or oh, they have a big house, or something like that. And dating is just getting harder and harder because I feel like as our generation grows up, we have different, I guess, like ideas and, like, I don't know how to put it, but like different ways we want to approach things from both men and women. Like, it's not just like, oh, it's just men, or oh, it's just women. I feel like it's the generation as a whole that's changing the idea of dating, because I feel like we don't really do traditional dates like that as Gen Zs. Now, I'm not saying everybody, but I'm talking about from my personal experiences and what I have seen with my friends, my family, and stuff like that. Everything seemed, all that stuff, like that old school romantic classic stuff has went out the door. So the first thing I jotted down on my list as like the reason why dating is so difficult in this generation is because we have dating apps and we have the rise of social media, where everywhere you go, it's the use of social media. Like, you can't go anywhere, or you know anything in this age. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I'm getting off a topic. But I feel like I said, with dating apps and social media, I feel like it made it seem like the grass is always greener on the other side. Like, we have so many options that it's hard to just focus on one. It's like, why would I focus on one option when I have this person, this person? Oh, I'm looking on Instagram, I'm seeing this person look like this versus the people that I'm actually going out and talking to, type of thing, or talking on the dating app. Because, like I said, from my own personal dating app experience, how many relationships has came out of me going on dates with people? Zero. And that's just me being very, very honest. Zero. Because I feel like it's really hard to get to that second date on dating apps, but it's even harder to find that person that's really going to match with you and feel like they're giving me the time, they're giving me a fair chance, they're actually communicating with me and stuff like that. Because I feel like on dating apps, you either have men that's on there for hookups, which I feel like nowadays they try to hide it and make it seem like, oh, I'm looking for a real relationship. Like, they'll ask you, oh, like, what are you on here for? And I'm like, oh, I'm on here because I'm looking for a long-term genuine connection. And they're like, me too. And of course, you're sitting, and I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, like, nice, just for them to be like, only text me at 10 p.m. at night. It's like, that's not seeming like you're looking for something real. That's seeming like you're just hoping that I'll be in the mood to hook up, or, I could come over to your place. Like, I don't know. You don't know how many people I talk to on dating apps that would text me at like 11 at night when most normal people are in bed. So, and then be like, what you doing? I'm like, laying down in my room, about to go to sleep. Oh, like, if you're not doing anything, you could just come over to my house, or I could come over to your place. Absolutely not. You're not coming over to my place at all. I don't even know what gave you the courage to even ask that. And then I proceed to say, no, I'm not doing that. And guess what happens? They delete me off of there, which is fine because, like, I'm not willing to mold what I'm looking for to match what somebody else wants. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a big thing on dating apps, where it's like if you're not looking for a hookup, you shouldn't have to pretend to look for a hookup just to please somebody, type of thing. But yeah, like that was just like one of my many craziest experiences, like from guys taking me out on dates just for them to not even talk that much, just hoping that they could get something. And then one crazy date I went on where it wasn't even a date. He ended up finessing me into paying for the whole date. And I learned my lesson the hard way. I know not to do that no more, but it was crazy. I could talk about that another time. But like I said, dating apps really makes it hard to really focus on one person, because like I said again, the grass is always greener on the other side. It's like people don't want to settle for one thing when they feel like there's something better out there. And it's like I always say, if you feel like you could get better, go get better. Like, who am I to stop you? I would never stop somebody if they feel like, oh, you're not good enough for me, or oh, I feel like somebody else is out there. Okay, cool, go get them. Like that has nothing to do with me. But at the same time, it's kind of like funny when I go back on the dating app after I deleted it and I see the same people still on there. I'm like, so maybe your tactics, what you're doing, isn't working, or you're just not looking for nothing in general, and a lot of people aren't willing to give you a chance. So yeah, and like I said again, like I said, social media made it hard. And even though, like, the funny thing is, dating apps in the perfect world you would think would be easier, right? Like, you don't have to meet people face to face right away. Like, you could, like, you could swipe right on them if you like them, or you could swipe left if you don't. It's kind of like you're behind your phone. Like, that should be easy, but it's showing us that it's way harder than what we think, because it's like you can't make an actual connection with somebody through a phone. Let's be honest. I don't care if you talk to them for 2 years, for a whole decade, you can't really connect with somebody through a phone, or just by swiping, or just by texting. You can't do that. Like, that's not how us humans work. There's no way I'm gonna actually feel a genuine connection with a stranger that, I'm swiping based off if I'm attracted to them or not. Like, physical attraction is only one aspect of a relationship, because I personally feel like the most important part of a relationship to me is the connection that I have with the person when I meet them, or when I meet them in person, like meet them like organically in like real life. Like, I feel like that's the one-on-one real connection, because I feel like we need to connect emotionally. Even though physical is a big factor, don't get me wrong, it is, but I feel like, I personally feel like the deeper we can go, the deeper the higher chances it might last. And it's that kind of thing where I just feel like, it's kind of hard to connect with somebody through a phone screen, and then you get in person, and then you have this high expectation for this person to be like this, but in reality they're the complete opposite of what you thought. Like, you built this idea in your head that this person's gonna be like this, because I saw their pictures on the dating app, they look absolutely gorgeous, and then you get in person, you're just like, oh, okay. Like, you're let down, because essentially it's like, that's what happens with dating apps. But other than dating apps, I also said, like, I feel like commitment is a big thing. Like, committing, the idea of committing to somebody is a lot. And I'm gonna be honest, like, commitment can be scary, especially when you have trust issues, especially when you've been let down, cheated on, especially when it's like you have to settle down with just one person, like, your entire life, like getting married. That could be scary, but at the same time, I feel like in this terms of commitment that I'm talking about, it's like being able to ask somebody out to be like, hey, can you be my partner? Or can you be my girlfriend? Can you be my boyfriend, type of thing? Because it's like, I feel like the world has shown us that it's so many people out there, so I don't want to just settle for the first person that comes to me, even though the first person could be my potential partner in the long run. But like I said, it's just one of those things where I feel like even, oh my god, the Amazon man is like right in front of my window. It's kind of awkward. But anyway, oh my god, I lost track. But like I said, commitment is a very scary thing for most people, and I feel like Gen Z's, our generation, has proven that. Like, I feel like we have genuinely proven that, because it has been a rise of so many single people, and I feel like it's many reasons for that. But at the same time, like, I'm that kind of person that, I feel like commitment definitely is one of them. Definitely is one of them. And then also, along with commitment, everything is a freaking ick. Let's like really take that in. Everything is a freaking ick. It's like no matter what it is. Like I don't know if y'all seen this show like Pop the Balloon, but it's like Arlette show. Like she does it really well, and I really like how she articulates it and like how she has the setup and stuff. But it was like some episodes that I watched, and it was the girls that was like, popping the balloon on the guys that walked out. Like the guys were walking out, and I get it that there's things that you're just like, no, no, like I'm not dealing with that. That's a turn off, red flag, whatever. Whatever. But it's certain stuff like on that show. It was one particular episode when the girl was like, "Oh, I don't like the shoes that you're wearing." Because they were like red or something. And I remember talking about this with like friends and stuff. They were like, "Oh, I don't like the shoes that you're wearing because they're red." That's a turn off for me. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking like, what? Like, is that really a reason you pop the balloon for somebody? Like, over a pair of shoes, and that's considered a turn off, a ick, a red flag or something. And I get it, you may not like the shoes, okay, whatever. But at the same time, it's kind of like, are you serious? Like, I don't know. It was just weird. And I'm just like, that shouldn't be a reason you pop the balloon, because people could always change their shoes. Like, but even then, I also am this type of person where I feel like somebody shouldn't have to change themselves for you. But at the same time, I'm just like, shoes shouldn't be a big deal. Like, I wouldn't pop on a guy based on his shoes. I will pop on a guy based on what he says. And if it aligns with what I say, type of thing. I wouldn't pop on a guy just because, oh, he's wearing white shoes with black clothing. It's like, okay, cool. Like, props to you for wearing that. Like, I don't care. Like, everything should not be an ick. Oh, it's an ick when somebody chews with their mouth open. I'm like, okay, like, and I feel like, okay, that was a bad example. Like, I feel like that would annoy people, like, chewing with your mouth, because that's just bad etiquette. That wasn't a good example, but I'm just saying, like, little things people be saying is an ick. Like, oh, I know when, okay, so Olivia Rodrigo, like, it was the other day when she says something about a guy, when she goes on dates, if a guy mentions space or something, talk about, oh, I want to go to space, she said that was, like, a turn off, a red flag. I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was like, that is a problem. And I'm like, girl, what? Like, that is not a red flag, a guy saying he wants to go to space. What about if that's his career path? Like, what about if he works with NASA or something? You're going to turn him down over something like that? And that's, like, the goofy stuff that I'm talking about, where it's, like, nothing against Olivia, but it was just like, girl, that made no sense, and that sounded, like, so stupid. And people in the comments were like, girl, like, ain't no way that's a turn off or an ick for you or a red flag. Like, there's nothing a red flag about that. A red flag, and a guy will be lying. A guy that don't keep his promises, that's a red flag. That's a reasonable. Saying going to space, that's not a red flag. That's just plain just, girl, I don't know what she was trying to do right there. But anyway, and then another thing that I feel like, when it comes to, like, dating and why is it so hard, is like, I feel like people, it's easy for people to waste your time. And that's what I feel like, one thing that really, really ticks me off when it comes to dating. Don't waste my time. Because I won't waste your time. Don't waste my time. Like, you in your head know if somebody's your type. You know if you want to invest in this connection. Like I always say, if he wants to, he will. If somebody wants to, they will. It's simple as that. Like, there's no, like, texting back. Nobody's a bad texter. Let's be honest. Nobody is a bad texter. We all have our phones in our hands 24/7. There's no reason why it should take 10 plus hours to text somebody back, good morning, when you were the one that texted them first. Like, that makes no sense. Like, I feel like it's just a lot of people that want to feel important and want to lead people on for no reason, when it's just like, get a life. Like, don't do that. Like, if you're not interested in somebody, be like, I'm not interested in you, honestly. Like, that, like, pull the band-aid off. Like, don't sit there and play with nobody. Like, that's nothing to play with, type of thing. But yeah, it's just like wasting time. Like, there's so many people that, on dating apps again, that I talk to, and they just wasted my time for no reason. And I like that. That pisses me off so bad. Like, oh my god, like so much of my time been wasted like talking to them, and then they'll like text me, oh, good morning. And I'm like, oh, okay, good morning back, because I really don't want to talk to them. And I'm going to be honest, it's like, I have my moments where I don't want to talk, but I'm very upfront about it. I'm just like, I am not in the mood to talk. Or I'll be like, oh, right now I'm busy and stuff. I'll text you later or tomorrow or something. Like, communicate. Like, I feel like communication goes a long way and tell somebody how you feel. But to sit there and ignore them for hours on end is like really, really crazy. Like, that's insane. I don't know how else to describe it, but that's crazy and stuff. And like I said, and another one is like communication is key. Like, I feel like communication is key. I feel like communication go a long way. I feel like let's like get better at communicating as a generation. Like, I feel like Gen Z's communication is whack. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I even have friends out there that would text me and then wait a while to text back, and I'm like, girl, I know that phone is in your hand. We go nowhere without our phone. I don't go anywhere without my phone, and I know you don't go anywhere without your phone. Let's be like so for real. We all have our phone everywhere we go. We're on it 24/7. Gen Z's, I'm talking to Gen Z's, we're all on our phones 24/7. So to sit there and not text somebody back within a few minutes because you want to wait because, oh, I don't want to be too desperate to text back, or, oh, like, I'm just gonna make them wait just to make them wait, screw you for that. Like, dead for real. Like, get better at that. And that's the problem that I noticed that's really bad in dating. Like, on the dating website, a guy would be like, oh, I'm a bad texter. It's like, he's not a bad texter. He just wanted an excuse so when he don't text you back, because he's talking to another person, because he don't really have interest and he want to string you along. Like, there's motives behind that. That's what I'm saying. And I learned that there is motives because I tested that with a guy before where I was just like, you know, come to find out that he was just ignoring me because somebody in his past ignored him. So he wanted to do it to me, even though I was actually interested in getting to know him, and we were texting just fine. And then out of nowhere, he made me wait for almost a day to text back. And I was like, well, if you're just busy, like, you know, you could go on, like, you don't have to like sit there. I don't want to get in your way if you're busy. He's like, I'm not busy. And I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, because you haven't been texting back in a long time. And I was like, so let me get this straight. I had texted him. I was like, let me get this straight. You're not busy, right? No. You're at home, right? Yeah. And you've been at home all day? Yeah. And you've been ignoring me? And then he tried to start backtracking, trying to be like, oh, no, like, you know, and I was like, no, I'm like, stand your ground. Be like, yeah, I was at home, I was ignoring you. Like, be straightforward. Like, I'm a straightforward person, and I would rather somebody just tell me straight up rather than, like, beat around the bush and stuff. Like, stand on your ground, be like, yeah, I was ignoring you because I was talking to somebody else, or I just didn't have no interest. I'm just here for company when I want it. Like, be honest. And, like, when I sat there and I was like, okay, so since you want to do that, I was like, I absolutely have no interest in talking to you and stuff. And then that's when he started apologizing. Like, no, like, I didn't mean that. Like, I only did that because people back then did that. Like, girls that I like did that to me. And I was like, so you rather ruin something that could have been potential. But I'm like, that's not my future partner. My future partner is not going to ignore me for no reason and play stupid games when you're a grown freaking adult. Like, you should, like, man up. Like, be a freaking man. Like, don't sit there and play games because you're a loser. Like, I don't know. Like, that just, like, makes me, like, so mad. Like, like, I can't. Like, that annoyed me so much. So, yeah, I ended up cutting him off and stuff. And he's like, oh, no, like, give me another chance. I'm like, absolutely not. I don't give second chances when you did that on purpose. Like, no. Like, I give second chances. Actually, I don't give second chances at all because, like, to me, I'm just like, once people show me their true colors, I believe them. Like, there's no coming back from that. And people can change. But he did not change in 2 hours or overnight. Ain't no way. Like, he just saying sorry because he wants that attention still, and I called him out on that, which he didn't expect me to do. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long because I'm just ranting at this point about my personal experiences that nobody cares about. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on everything in this generation when it comes to dating. Like, I could go on and forever, but I feel like I have other topics that's like like being single and stuff. Why it's okay to be single. That's coming like later on that I could talk about in the video all in itself. So thank you for tuning in. Like, if you ever have any ideas on what you want me to talk about, let me know. Like, I am just now starting off my channel, so it's not a lot of pop and buzz around my channel, but I really enjoy making videos and just talking 24/7 about my life or about any topic I'm interested in. And also share your thoughts below when it comes to like dating these days, because I just feel like it's just plain out impossible. So it's like, why even try? Like, I literally have no energy this year to date at all. Like, I have no like interest at all. It's so tiring and it's not for me personally. But yeah, like anyways, like, comment, and subscribe, and tune into my next video. Bye bye.